Sometimes when your friend or family member is dealing with an immense amount of pain, you feel like, I want to just take it away. I want to just help them minimize the pain, right? But sometimes you cannot do that. You cannot force someone to get over what they're going through. Each person needs to take their own time when it comes to processing grief, when it comes to processing breakups, weight loss, or too long to find a new job, or too long to make up their mind. Sometimes people really are just struggling to even get out of bed. Some people are struggling just to eat. You just never know what somebody is battling with. So just remember to give people grace. Give people the same grace that you would want them to give you if you were in that exact or similar situation. It's always easy to say, what we would do when we're in that situation, but nobody really knows how they're going to respond until they get put in that situation. Just because you may have overcame it faster doesn't mean that that person will, right? Like what works for you may not work for them. It's quite similar to a bird with a broken wing, right? You can wrap it, you can care for the bird, give it everything it needs, but it's not going to make that wing heal any faster, right? If anything, you're just going to stress yourself out. Just remember, if you have someone in your life that is in a big amount of pain and they're sad, just don't try to force them to move through their emotions. Allow them that grace to feel how they're feeling. People cannot get over things and feel better on your time schedule. No matter what you do, no matter how much support and love you give, just remember that it's not your responsibility to fix them. You can be supportive, you can be there, but it will not speed the process up. If anything, it may actually backfire, especially if they do not want your help. If they do not want you coming in trying to help them run stuff.
Damn it, I said stop!
And just because you love them doesn't mean you can force them to do things that they don't want to do. You can't force them to do things even if they're good things for them. You can suggest, you can support. In the book I was reading by Tabitha Brown, she talks about how sometimes it's better not to continuously mention something to someone unless there's something you can do about it instantly, right? Like if someone has something stuck in their teeth, hey, you got some spinach in your teeth. If someone has a big ass keloid on their ear and you're pointing it out constantly, what can they do about it? They can't do nothing about it, and you can't help them today. If anything, it just can kind of hurt their self-esteem and make them feel bad about some shit that they can't do nothing about. So, sometimes it's just listening and being there. Every time someone comes to you, sometimes they don't want a blueprint. They just want someone to hear them out. People want to feel heard. We have to allow people to find what works for them, right? Something that makes you happy may not make them happy. Something that helps you heal may not really help them. They may not really even want to try it. So, like I said, just sometimes just give people space to work their kinks out and just give them grace. And remember that if you were in that same situation, you would want grace. Quite often, I feel like some of us forget when you're not going through that same struggle, you forget how hard it is to just pull yourself out of bed, or you may forget how hard it is to just get to the gym when you're not inspired. We all go through things in life, and let's just all try to remember to give each other grace. Even when you look at the world in therapy, there's so many different therapies because people have different preferences, different wants, different needs, different pains, and different struggles, and everything is not an automatic band-aid fix, right? They have water therapy, they have so many different things that people can do to feel better. So just allow a person, to try to find it, maybe help them, give them a little hints, but you cannot get mad if someone does not take your advice. It is not your responsibility to heal another adult. It is not your responsibility to run another adult's life, whether it's your husband or wife, best friend, sister. It is not up to you. It's up to them. And until a person decides that they want better physically, mentally, financially, they are going to be exactly where they're at. And if you try to pull them up, most likely they will probably pull you down to their level. A person has to be willing to jump. A person has to be willing to make the sacrifices. A person has to be willing to get better in life. You cannot force anyone to do that.